Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Champ Chat. We are back again, and everybody is happy this week. We had good results on the weekend, and we have lots to talk about. The table is kind of upside down. Those that should be at the top are at the bottom, those that should be in the middle are at the top, and we're in the middle, so we're happy. We will talk about it all in just a moment. See you there. Right, we are all here. The boys are here straight away. We have Aaron and John as usual. The triple threat is here again. How are we doing, boys?
All
Fantastic.
good.
I already told them we're all happy, so we are happy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping we were going to be able to throw John into the sack watch arena today, but
Hold on.
luckily,
I got a violin somewhere around here.
luckily, they got saved. Got saved at the last minute.
Yeah, it's all good. Both of us got 3 points today, Birmingham and Wrexham. So we're looking okay in the table. Obviously, it's very early days, guys, so nobody is really overly worried where you are on the table as long as you're not near the bottom, circling the drain like good old Sheffield. Now, I didn't say which Sheffield, and
Just
normally I
Sheffield.
wouldn't.
Just the whole,
Normally
yeah,
I
all of
wouldn't
it,
need
all of
to, but just in case anyone is unsure, it's really United that refers to circling the drain, still on 0 points. So the big comeback had a bit of a splash and got nothing. But at least, hey, that match went ahead and finished, unlike other matches who
it.
had just a little bit too much splashing around. And the referee decided at what 80 something minutes that I'm getting a bit cold, I'm getting a bit wet. Fuck it, we'll do it again some other day, and just cancel the thing. So that's a match we got to talk about today. Um, but because we always forget, I might as well do it straight away. YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Nice comments to keep that algorithm happy and to also give us comments because we do generally read them and try our best to answer the comments, even if not everyone gets up on screen. But guys, do interact. There's quite a few of us here today, which is great to see. Nice to have all the usuals in the chat talking away. There is a lot of chat about Cabaret. So a lot of people on our side are really happy about that, and everybody does seem to want to give him a song. Now we know which song it is, which I find very interesting because surely Kikache on the left might want that song. So is it acceptable to use the same song for two different players, one on the left, one on the right?
No,
Hmm.
you got to do a
No.
different one. Can't do it. Can't do it.
No, I think it'd be quite cool, especially because they're left and right. They're partners on each wing. Now, it might be different if they're in different parts of the field or whatever. But anyway, we can talk about that later. This is a general championship chat, so we're not going to dive straight into Wrexham because sometimes we can end up dumping down that rabbit hole for too long.
Yeah.
So, first up, we are going to go straight through the table. And sitting in the happy spot, number one at the top is Middlesbrough. After 6 matches played, they are on 16 points, 5 wins and a draw. Goal difference of +7, which doesn't really matter. Um, Now, something I did do, I did a little bit of homework before I came on tonight. And I had a look at our predictions, our preseason predictions, and I averaged them for us. So, where do we think we put Middlesbrough as a prediction?
13th ish.
I was going to say eighth, but I'm probably well out.
See, that's why we do averages, somewhere in the middle. 10th.
Okay.
10th. Okay, so at the moment they're nicely in the playoffs, which it would probably be their target, hoping to get up in that way. But who knows? Maybe they can take the top 2 and get autos by the end of the season, but it's too early to go down that road. So Middlesbrough, guys, match the weekend. Who did they play? What happened? Tell the people.
They were at home, weren't they, against West Brom, and won 2-1. Well, I say they were. It was the Friday night game, wasn't it?
It was the Friday night game, first game. Yeah, 2-1.
First game.
Middlesbrough versus West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, because they went 2-0 up, didn't they? And West Brom pulled a goal back. But it wasn't sort of a barnstorming end that I thought it might be after West Brom got a goal back. It kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, West Brom got their consolation goal basically at 90 minutes, Hegebo. So kind of late in the match. Probably not too much stress for the last couple of minutes. If they had a referee who knows how to use a watch, unlike in our match. But again, we're not going to dive down into Wrexham too early. Just some basic stats there. Middlesbrough had 41% of the possession, and West Brom had 59% as the away team, which is a little bit interesting. Total shots, 9 for Middlesbrough, 15 for West Brom. Big chances, 2 each.
Yeah, it was a fairly even game. I thought watching it, it was a stereotypical championship game where it was extremely even until the first goal, and the first goal obviously changed the dynamic of the game, like it does in most football matches, but especially in the championship.
Yep. So no deep diving on Middlesbrough tonight. That's cool. So we think obviously Middlesbrough are nice and happy. Yeah, all good for the manager, owners, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I can't imagine they thought they'd be sitting top of the table with, 6 games in.
And maybe more importantly than sitting at the top of the table with 16 points is the fact that they have a 4-point gap.
Yeah.
Which is easy enough to claw back, but is a decent gap at this early stage.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams that are around them, out of the next 4, you have Stoke, Bristol, Leicester, and Preston North End. So only Leicester City, coming down from the Prem teams, are kind of sitting close enough behind them. Really weird kind of top of the table so far, but will eventually shake itself out. So
the key with Middlesbrough is that if they continue this form for probably another 5-6 games, for example, all of a sudden they've given themselves a huge head start in that playoff run, and then the form needed towards the end of the season doesn't have to be your 2 point per game. All of a sudden that sort of drops a lot down. So they've given themselves, if it does continue, some leeway for a few slip-ups.
Yeah, which will be nice. Some other podcasters are already talking about, is it possible that 2 teams can go up this season that are not parachute payment teams after bouncing down recently, when if you kind of consider one of the top 2 going to a non-parachute and then one going through the playoffs, it's possible. But the other possibility is the playoffs could be dominated by the playoff teams if they don't make the top 2. So yeah, we'll see how that one plays out. So next up, another maybe surprise package is Stoke City sitting pretty in number 2. Now, interesting one here. Predicted finish average. Let's go for guessing again.
I think we all had them pretty low. I'm gonna guess like 18th or something.
Yeah, I'm going to say 16th around there, 15th, 16th.
Nope. 21st.
Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about.
So yeah, Stoke have had a lovely start. They probably would have been happy with mid-table. We'll see if that changes throughout the season, if they can stay up near the top, but they are absolutely blistering through the matches so far. A nice load of points. 12 points is fairly decent. That is your 2 points per game. So promotion, auto promotion, standard kind of pretty much in around the leagues. So yeah, great for them. So matches this weekend for Stoke then. We had Queen's Park Rangers 1, Stoke, who were the away team, 0. So they lost their match today. Didn't take any points home. Do we know about the match? I did not watch it.
I haven't seen it.
I saw the highlights, and QPR were deserved winners by all accounts, to be honest. Both teams had chances, but QPR, I mean, I think that was probably QPR's third win on the bounce, I think it is, possibly. So they're on a bit of form at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so QPR had 35% possession. Stoke had 65. And then total shots 14 for QPR versus 7 Stoke. 3 big chances for QPR and 1 for Stoke. So going by decent shots, QPR deserve it, even though they didn't have the possession. I don't really care about possession. We love not having possession, and XG is just a load of bollocks unless you're saving the ball the whole time. So good on them. Yep, QPR, we'll talk about them shortly when they come up in the league. But yes, they're on a nice bit of tear for themselves. Obviously, with no sack watches with all these teams up near the top. Next up, we have Bristol City in third. Expectations would be probably playoffs for them after breaking into the playoffs last season. Where did we put them? Quick guesses.
I might say higher than that, maybe 9th.
Okay, 12th.
12th, nailed it.
So, yeah, I was personally expecting a little bit of a dip from their over expectations last season, just getting into the playoffs. And it remains to be seen. They're on 11 points and doing quite well. One of the stronger teams up there. So let's see if they can hold this for a decent period of time. So who did they play?
They got battered by Oxford. That's what happened.
Yes, they did. That was it. Bristol City 1, which was a consolation goal. Oxford 3. Very surprising result. There was quite a few surprising results this weekend. So going into a 3-goal deficit was... Oh, it wasn't actually. Sorry, I got that wrong. It was 2-1, and then Oxford got another goal. For some reason, I thought it was 3-0 when I was looking at it. Okay, so Prelec at 19 minutes, Placheta 45 plus 3 just before the half, Mameti 53 for Bristol City to bring one back, and then Lay to finish it off at 90 minutes. Possession 60% for Bristol, 40% for Oxford. Total shots 12 for Bristol, 18 for Oxford. Big chances 2 for Bristol and 5 for Oxford. So wow, that was a lovely result for Oxford. Lots of people are predicting them to struggle and maybe go down this season.
Yeah, I think the one thing that came out of this game was, if no one's actually seen the highlights, go watch it, because the 2 best goals of the weekend were scored in this game. One by Oxford, one by Bristol. Absolute belters.
Okay. Right. Next up in 4th place, we have Leicester City, first of the big boys. So they should be looking for auto promotion after just coming back down from the Prem. They got an absolute kicking last season, but they seem to be starting out okay this year. The only one of the big boys who are actually up around the top. So how did their match go this weekend?
0-0, Coventry.
This was one of the matches that wasn't that surprising a result. So we have Leicester City versus Coventry, both doing pretty well. Strong teams. Coventry scoring a lot of goals. Very high goal difference for them. So both doing really well. We can wait for later in the season to see if Leicester gets slapped with their points discount loss. But they haven't yet. So they are nicely up there in the running. The match itself, 60% for Leicester, 42% for Coventry, 17 total shots for Leicester with 3 big chances, 11 for Coventry with 0 big chances.
Yeah, I watched this game. I actually did watch this whole game. Yeah, Leicester are gonna feel hard done by. they should have got a winner somewhere. They had so many chances that they should have been scoring. Yeah, it was, and not that Coventry looked bad. They just didn't. There were parts of the game where they kind of controlled things a little bit, but it wasn't. It just didn't threaten as much as Leicester did. When Leicester had the ball and were controlling things, they were getting it on target. They were getting shots in and getting it on target. It was just I don't know, one of those games like you feel like you just thought the goal was coming at any time, and it just never quite did. Kind of felt like that game today. I'm sure we'll get onto it, but kind of felt like Watford was going to get the equalizer there towards the end of the game. Just never quite got there. So yeah, just one of those games.
Okay. Anything else, or straight on to the next one?
I think, yeah, it was a close game, I think. But yeah, as Aaron said, I think both teams missed some glorious chances. I think Haji Wright missed a pretty easy chance for Coventry towards the end.
One. Yeah.
One you would have expected him to bury, in all fairness. But I think Leicester equally, they had some. I think Daka had one where, I mean, he just doesn't score goals, but he had a glorious chance. So yeah, probably a result both managers would have said at the end of it they would accept before a ball was kicked. So yeah.
Okay, next up in 5th is another interesting team, Preston North End. Now, none of us really were very hopeful for Preston, and they have had a lovely start. They are currently on 11 points. They would probably be happy with survival-ish, lower half table somewhere. And maybe they're going to nicely get that if they keep going this way for a little while. So where exactly did we put them between us? Already given you a hint on this one. Shouldn't be too far off.
I'm gonna say 22nd.
Yeah, I would think so. They're probably in the relegation zone.
Yeah, 22nd we put them. So time will have to tell on that one, or we got it completely wrong. Before we hit the match, what did we think of their transfers and manager?
Well, if I remember right, they did a lot early in the window, didn't they? It seemed like they were getting some free transfers in early.
Yeah.
And so, like, I remember when it was first happening, I feel like there was a lot of talk about them just because they were doing quite a bit early, and it was kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, they're getting players in, but they're free agents for a reason. Are they? You know what I mean? Are they going to be good enough players to really make the difference? I think that was kind of the conversation we were having over the summer about them. But obviously, they've worked out really well so far.
I think
Cool.
I think I just about to say, as Morgan's just said in there, they signed a couple on loan, didn't they, towards the end of the window, and they got is it Alfie Devine, who looks a real player on loan. So yeah, they've used the loan market very well.
Okay, so on to their match. It was Derby County at home versus Preston North End away, and Preston took the win 1-0 at 29 minutes through Devine, who you just mentioned. Stats somewhat even. We have 48%, 52% for the possession, 7 total shots for Derby with 2 big chances, 10 total shots for Preston with 1 big chance, and they came away with the win. So good for them on that one. What did we think of the highlights?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised actually because Derby under Eustace are always a tough team to beat, especially at home. So going to Derby and beating them on their own patch is no mean feat. Anyone will be quite happy with that. But yeah, it looked a fairly even game on the highlights, if I'm honest. A game with not so many clear-cut chances from what highlights suggested.
Yeah, I wanted to call you out just a little bit on this one because you've been kind of a very big supporter, I suppose, of Eustace. They're hard to play against, good team. He'll keep them solid. They'll do well. Now, it's kind of interesting for us this week because we have them next week. And we're at home, aren't we, Aaron?
Yeah, we're at
pretty
home.
sure.
We got
Yeah,
Derby
we're at home. So we're looking for our first home win. And we have Derby after coming off a nice win this weekend away ourselves. So really interested in them at the moment. What do we think?
They got a lot of injuries though, haven't they? They started the season with they probably would say 6 of the starting 11 pretty much out injured. So I think they've got 2 centre backs which aren't the main centre backs. They've had Carlton Morris who's been playing up front, who I think is really good. But Aaron's favourite player, what's his name? Is it Abami? What is it?
Aubameyang.
Adjiman. He made his first appearance, I believe, off the bench this weekend. That's the first look they've seen of him. So I think it's going to be probably the next international break when they probably are back to what you would classify as a full strength squad or as close as. So I think it's been tough to sort of judge Derby because they've been struggling with injuries, to be honest.
Just what I like to hear. Catching them at the right time, lots of injuries, needing our first home win and coming into form for us, kind of. So we'll have a lot to talk about on that when we get there. So yeah, Derby having a tough start on it, and they will come up much later in the league. So next up we have Birmingham in 6th place, so in the playoff spots.
That ain't right.
Isn't it?
Is it
Should be.
I'd love to say we're 6th. I don't think we are.
Coventry. It's Coventry.
Oh, it is. Yes, my goal difference is out of whack there for some reason. Okay, yes, Coventry is next with a goal difference on 10 points. And for Coventry, I'll just say it, we had them averaging at 7th, just missing out on the playoffs this season. Now, so far, I think they've started pretty well and certainly look like playoff contenders at the moment for the rest of the season. Maybe just a little bit hit and miss. They're not totally settled. But hey, isn't that the championship?
little dip in form here recently. I think 3 draws on the bounce, a loss, and then 3 draws. Yeah. So they started really well. They had that big 7-1 win over QPR, and everybody thought they're flying, and then they end up they've lost and then drawn 3 since then. So
yeah, so that's interesting. And who are they playing next? Out of interest.
I think I know who they're playing next.
I can check it.
Oh, it's you guys.
It's us.
It's Birmingham.
Yes. I knew there was a reason I was asking that. So early match on a Saturday. Early matches are always a hit and miss for us. So they were, at least for a while. Getting up early in the morning maybe isn't the best. So Coventry have had 3 draws in a row. Birmingham then have win, loss, win. So interesting there. Birmingham are not drawing, which I like to see personally. I like to be going out for taking the 3 points or take your loss. I don't like this middling 1 point away will do. And I know Parky seems to love that. 3 points at home and one point away is good enough. But look, hey, I'm not in charge, and that's fine. I just prefer the all-out go for the 3 points style. So, can you take the win? Oh, first of all, hang on. Let's not jump ahead. Let's go to the match. So no, we're not on Birmingham. We're on Coventry. We already did the match. So
We already did that
Coventry,
match, so we
yeah.
can
So
go.
Coventry versus Leicester. Have we anything else new to say, or no? Just the fact that they haven't really hit perfect form in the last couple. Great start, but then a couple of draws here. They're not finishing very well. Yeah, so that then does put us. Nope, next is West Brom then, actually. West Brom are currently 7th. They have a 1-goal difference over Birmingham on a +1. So, West Brom, didn't we already mention their match?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They put Middlesbrough. Yeah.
Middlesbrough. Okay, so West Brom, they are. We have them averaging at 9th for the end of the season. Looking for playoffs if they can have a good finish to the season. Will they be happy where they are? Surely.
Yeah, currently. They're in the mix, aren't they? And they've started well. So.
Okay, did they have a new manager in the summer?
They did. Ryan Mason. It's his first managerial job as well. So
that was it. Yeah.
Or you've got to say, from their point of view, so far so good. It's been a successful start.
Yeah. Okay, so then I was trying to skip ahead on to Birmingham. Birmingham next. Who did they play? Who did they play? They played Coventry. Yes.
No, we played your neighbours, Swansea.
Yeah, I skipped my spot and it reset. Okay, so Swansea, we haven't spoken about that one. Birmingham pulled off the late-ish win, 1-0 versus Swansea. Tell us all about it, John. Have at it.
To coin the typical football phrase, it was a game of two halves. I would probably say Swansea were the better team in the first half. Arguably had a goal ruled out for offside, which I don't think it was offside, or it was close, shall we say. But luckily the linesman was wearing blue. And then second half, it was all us. Yeah, it was to be fair, it was a really good game, entertaining game. I enjoyed it. It wasn't one team sitting back and one team attacking. Both teams had a go, and some good football was on play. So but I think even most Swansea fans kind of say how dominant we were in the second half. We kind of did deserve to win the game. We shouldn't have left it so late. We did have some glorious chances in that second half. I think a comment earlier from Michael said about Kyogo. He gets through on another one-on-one and just completely scuffs his shot. He's got to bury that. Damari Gray, dances through about 3 players and then just passes it straight to the goalkeeper. So we had our chances. But I think the pleasing thing from our side of things was the performance, because the last couple of games have been a bit flat. Not many chances created. We almost seemed a little bit tentative going forward in the previous games, whereas this game, I think we had ridiculous amounts of shots, a lot of shots on target.
Yes, I'm looking at this, and the momentum chart absolutely drops off after half time for Swansea. Possession was 50-50 over the match, but then total shots, Birmingham have 23 with 5 big chances. So A, what on earth kept you so long? And B, why did you only get 1? Now, you've partly said it, but yeah, Kyogo's not finishing for you guys, is he?
Has he scored yet? Has he scored?
He has scored in the cup, not in the league. But I'll be honest, he's lost his place in the side. He came off the bench in this game. We got to see Marvin Deutsch, the German bloke. He started his first game for us, and he looks a handful. He's a big, strong lad, extremely good with the ball at his feet. Very you can tell he's played Bundesliga for the last couple of seasons. He's really good. He's still getting in tune with the rest of the team. I wasn't quite convinced we picked the best attacking 3, shall we say, because we had we had Kumas start on the left, Gray started on the right, Stansfield in the 10, and Dutch through the middle. I think we look better when Gray is wide left and we have Patrick Roberts, who came off the bench, who got the assist for the goal. So I still think Davis is tweaking the attacking lineup and trying to find the best sort of solution and best sort of formation for it all. So yeah, I think in about another 3-4 games, I think we'll know what we're doing going forward. Yeah. So, but no, all in all, it was a pleasing game, a good performance, and the better side won. So.
The better side won. Now, I will say you're not going to be having major goal difference by the end of the season, by the look of it. So let's hope that doesn't come into slipping into playoffs or, God forbid, slipping out of autos.
This was the thing last season, though.
Yes, it was very
we
surprising.
We didn't score a lot of goals last season, and I think we've got one of the best defensive. I wouldn't say records because obviously we don't have on a record, but XG against, shots against, all that side of things. We're one of those sides where you have to be clinical against us because we don't give an awful lot. And I will give Davis credit. The defence was a lot more balanced this game because we have been playing Clara and Newman. Now they're both right-footed, so he'd been shoving Clara onto left centre-back and Neumann was playing right centre-back, and it didn't suit Clara. He was nowhere near what the player he was last season. But this game he brought Jack Robinson in, natural left-footed centre-half. Bit surprised by it, but he played left centre-half. We dropped Newman and Clara went to right centre-half, and yeah, Clara was back to his best and Jack Robinson didn't put a foot wrong. So yeah, it was suddenly our defence looked balanced, and when we were playing out from the back, it was just fluid. People weren't having to sort of allow the ball to come onto their right foot to play it out and that. So yeah, but the left back area for me is still an issue. I know you guys say about injuries. We only have one fit left back till Christmas, and we knew that going into the summer, and we didn't do anything about it. And he's struggling, shall we say. He's struggling with championship level, I think. So.
Okay, that's not good to hear. We've had our injuries. Yeah, that's not a good one to know. You have to go to kind of half season with middling player.
I'll be brutally honest. I think it won't be long until Laird is probably chucked out as a left back, even though he's a right-footed right back. He's just a lot better than Cochrane, our current left back. But Davis does look like the natural sort of flow of left-sided centre back and a left-footed left back. So I think he'll be stubborn and he won't change it. But I think if Cochrane has some rough times, he's had some rough times in the Swansea game and he got absolutely torn to bits at Stoke. So I think a few more of those performances, he might lose his place.
Okay. So, ready to move on then? Next up, we have QPR sitting in 10th. They are likely aiming at mid-table, so they are in a decent position at the moment. So, back to the question of the night. Where did we put them?
Yeah, them probably pretty low too, I'd say.
17th, 16th?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
16th, well done. On the money there, yeah. So we expect them to drop off a little bit at some point. Doing well so far. I'm sure they'll be happy with their position. Anything else to say on QPR? Because we have already spoken about their match. They pulled off a nice 1-0 win versus Stoke.
They've changed the way they played. So they're playing out the back against Coventry and got absolutely ate alive because of it. And so they started going a little more direct, not trying to build out from the back. And it's changed their world, basically. They've turned into a completely different team. So good on the manager for having the guts to make a change when he saw something going wrong instead of just sticking with it no matter what. And, because you get managers like that that'll just be like, nope, this is the way we play. And that's it. And he saw it wasn't working. He made a change, and they've won 3 in a row now, I think. Yeah.
Dare I say, the elephant in the room? It's since they've started Kone up front. and he's changed their front. He has changed their front line completely. They are now they are really a threat going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been good, really good.
Better than I expected as well. So
yeah.
Okay, and also for QPR doing well. Next up for them, they have Sheffield Wednesday, which every team in the league gotta fancy themselves taking out the 3 points on that one. So they could be in for a few more points coming up. But we'll wait and see. So moving on then to 10th place, we have Millwall. And Millwall had a match just before we came on.
Yep.
So late match, 1-0 win for Millwall versus Watford.
Yep.
Watford not doing too well. So, Guy, you probably weren't watching it, were you, before we come on?
I watched. I was a little bit. I was at work, so I was kind of watching it as I could. I was listening to it.
Okay, so a couple. Yeah, go on, John.
I watched the first half and I saw the goal.
Okay.
It wasn't a very exciting game. Let's put it that way.
Right. So we already said 1-0. Negley for Millwall scored at 10 minutes. Possession was 38% to Millwall, 62% to Watford. Total shots 9 for Millwall, no big chances. 11 for Watford, no big chances. So yeah, a little bit of a boring one. Millwall looks to have sat back after the half and dig in, basically, and defend, because the main possession for Watford came in the second half. So couldn't do anything about it and ended up losing 1-0.
Yeah,
good free kick for the goal, I have to say.
Yeah, good free kick goal. Hi, Hip Karma. She's just listening, getting ready for work. It was. I mean, like I said, I know I said earlier that goal, the equalizer was coming. I mean, you just knew it was coming. Watching that game, they had a couple really. Watford had a couple really good chances. The kid. The night. Oh, hell's his name? I'm not going to pronounce it right. I'm trying to think of his name. I'm gonna look him up real quick. Iracunda.
Is that the Aussie that Ken keeps raving
That's the
about?
Aussie. It's a 19-year-old Aussie. That kid is going to be special. Oof. He's something else. He was all over the place. Really good with the ball at his feet. He fired one shot from outside the box. It was a bullet. The keeper managed to keep out. It was coming. I mean, that goal was their equalizer was coming. And it just never quite happened for them. But they were just hammering Millwall towards the end. But yeah, it was pretty good. Michael saying Langstaff should have won a pin. I don't think it was a pin. I think it would have been really soft if they'd have gave it. He had a hand on his shoulder, but I don't think he shoved him. I think it was kind of he felt the hand and went down.
Hold on a minute. You're telling me Millwall at home didn't get a soft penalty?
That's what you heard. That's what you heard.
Okay, I fear for that referee.
To be fair, there was one point, and I didn't see what happened. There was one point in the match where he went over to.
Oh,
I'm in suspense now.
Perfect time to freeze. Oh, is he gone?
And we shall never know.
Am I back? Am I back?
You're
up?
back. You're back. You're back.
My internet just dropped out for some reason. That was weird. I don't know how much of that you heard.
Just like the old days. We missed those old days.
I don't know. It was weird. I don't know why. That's a weird one. I usually don't have any problems anymore.
You missed the perfect opportunity when it came back, and just to say, and that's all I've got to say about that.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been cool, actually.
Oh man. There we go. Games change, John. Din's not scary anymore.
I
There you
know
go.
it's not at all.
It's
There's
gone
hardly
woke.
any. It hasn't. It's just there's not many of them that turn up. That's the thing.
Oh shoot.
Okay, so just to finish then, Millwall's next opponents are Swansea. And Swansea's next in 11th position. So we will move on to Swansea. They are pretty much where we put them. We averaged out at 13th position. And where are they? 11th, yes, that's fine. And they just played Birmingham today and lost to you guys. So they're a little hit and miss. They're kind of a little bit over there, a couple of draws, a win, a couple of losses. How do you see their season so far?
I've been impressed by them, to be fair.
Okay.
And the weekend didn't tell me any different. I was a little bit surprised how good they were. If I'm honest, I didn't expect them to be as organised as they were, but also as they've got a couple of players there, and they have spent some money. They've got a couple of players that are really good. There's a winger which I will not even try and pronounce his name, but he plays out wide and he plays wide left, I think it is, and he is a player. He's a big guy, but he's quick. He's got really good feet, and he caused us a lot of problems. They've and of course they've got that Vopotnik up front, who I think had scored something like 5 in 5 going into this game. So they're a good side. They are a good side. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know Ken had mentioned that he'd watched their previous, I think it was the previous game they had, and he said they looked really, really good in that game. I don't remember who it was against, but yeah, he'd caught that game, said they looked really, really solid.
It'd be interesting to see how they cope after losing to us, because I didn't realise, but losing to us has been the first defeat since the first game of the season. They lost the first game against Middlesbrough, I think it was, and then obviously second defeat is against us. So it'd be interesting to see, do they go a bit up and down, or do they sort of go on another bit of an unbeaten run?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the last 5, they have one drawn, and then lost to you guys. So yeah, a little bit bouncy. But they're pulling out draws rather than losses, so it's not too bad. Now, obviously, one of our stretch goals is to beat Swansea this season. So we'll have to catch up on the extra point and pass them sometime soon. Now, we've already spoken about Swansea because they were beaten by Birmingham. Next, we have a very interesting team and a very interesting match this weekend. So we have Charlton Athletic in 12th position, nicely bang in the mid-table. Guesses for the average for Charlton?
23rd.
I'd love to say 24th because it's Nathan Jones.
Okay, are you saying 24th? What's the average?
No, 20th?
20th, yes, on the money. Okay, so they are head of expectations, and it's nice to get a few points if you're a potential relegation team early. It just takes a bit of pressure off and maybe can lead to a couple of extra draws and the odd win when the pressure is off. So they are doing well, Nathan Jones. Obviously, everyone's picked them, so they will be happy where they are. Now, they played Sheffield United, and that is kind of the big story. So their match ended 1-0 with a late winner by Olafe for Charlton. Possession was 63% Sheffield United, 37% Charlton Athletic, with a nice big chunk of possession towards the end of the second half. So Sheffield may have they were both drawing 0-0 at that point. So what happened? How did Sheffield let them get back into it? But do the shots tell something about the match? We have 13 shots for Sheffield United, no big chances, and 13 shots for Charlton Athletic, with 3 big chances. So, going by those stats, I would say Charlton deserved the win.
Yeah, I think I listened to a few as a podcast over the week. I think on Sunday, and it was they were talking about Sheffield United, and I think they said even most of the Sheffield United fans wouldn't begrudge that Charlton deserved the victory. A lot of them thought Sheffield United had nothing going forward. That it was no different to the Sellers performances where there was absolutely nothing. Attacking wise, they did look apparently better defensively compared to what they did under him before. But yeah, I'd say it's. I think the most worrying thing afterwards about Sheffield was that Wilder came out afterwards and said, it's a big job, and that was kind of a warning sign. But yeah, we got to see Nathan Jones doing his knee slide down the touchline again, didn't we? So
Do you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that slide.
Yeah.
He's a tool. But if you're willing to do that, I'll give you a couple of points.
Yeah. I think just to go against what Morgan said in the chat, where he said he thinks they've struggled, relegation battle. Just as a word of warning, this Charlton side are identical to his Luton side when they came up into the Championship originally. They play exactly the same. They have the same feel. And yeah, we all know how that story ended. So yeah, I don't think they're going down and will be in any danger, sadly. So
well, time will tell on that one. Okay, so we will hold the Sheffield United talk till we hit Sheffield United, and they are last. So we will dig into that just a little bit later. So who is up next? Next up we have Portsmouth, and I don't think we spoke about their match yet. So Portsmouth, yes, no, we didn't. Of course. So Portsmouth were at home playing Sheffield Wednesday, and they lost 2-0. Bannon opened the scoring at 12 minutes, and then Brown at 50 minutes. 70% possession went to Portsmouth. 25 total shots, only 1 big chance, and then 13 total shots for Sheffield Wednesday, 2 big chances, and they came out with a 2-0 win. Sheffield Wednesday are doing pretty well.
Yeah, that was definitely, as Michael said, the shock of the weekend. Yeah, obviously I didn't watch it, but apparently I did see the Barry Bannon goal, free kick. Yeah, I mean, just he's. I know you don't like him, John. He's good. He's good at what he does.
He's an annoying little dwarf who supports them over the road. So, would you say it's a good free kick, or would you say the goalkeeper's had an absolute mare there because it's the goalkeeper's side?
I think it was more goalkeeper, but a decent.
It's a decent hit, but
keeper should have been able to get it.
Yeah, I'm always wary when free kicks go in the goalkeeper's side. It's just like, well, that's the side you're stood on, for crying out loud,
Fair.
I just can't bring myself to give any credit to Bannon. Sorry.
I thought it was pretty sweet. It had some pace on it. It was coming. But yeah, I know what you mean though. It was on the goalkeeper side. I don't know.
I think we've all learned that Brown, who scored the second goal for Sheffield Wednesday, is not quite as caring as Paolo Di Canio is. Because did you see that goal?
I heard about it. Yeah.
The poor old Portsmouth player's running back to get the ball, and his hamstring just goes. He's just gone, and he just falls over it because he can't run, he can't move, and the Sheffield Wednesday player just kind of runs past him, picks up the ball, and you kind of think, is he going to stop? Is he going? No, he just runs and scores, makes it 2-0. Which fair play, but
yeah.
Well, now that was his first time playing, wasn't it?
It was a young kid, I think.
Young kid, first time playing. You're not looking back. The goal is there.
No, and let's face it, if he had stopped, I think the manager would have
Oh,
absolutely.
they would have killed him.
Yeah.
They would have killed him in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but not everyone's Paolo Di Canio, are they? So.
Yeah.
So I didn't mention it. Portsmouth are what are they? They are aiming for mid-table. They are nicely mid-table at the moment. Now, interestingly, we have them as averaging at 17th. So, is that a good prediction, or are we overly harsh so far from what we're seeing?
I don't think we'll be.
Do you expect them to dip? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by them terribly. I think home form is a big thing for them, and if they're losing at home to Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, I've just jinxed that because we play Sheffield Wednesday at home in a week, so that's just killed me completely. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't they? I was trying to think. They got a good result last week at Southampton. Portsmouth did. I thought that was a good result.
That's a derby, so I don't read it. Yeah, that's a brilliant result for them. Yeah, but derby game, it's like if you can't get up for that game, well.
Okay, they did beat Preston at home, and Preston's been pretty good. I think that's a good result too. I don't think they've been bad. I think we're probably going to be about right on them though. You're probably right.
Okay. Next up is Hull City, sitting in 14th. Now they are doing much better than we predicted. we have not been kind to Hull City. Now we expect them to be aiming for mid-table. Whether they can achieve it or not is another story. We averaged them at 23rd. So second from bottom, getting relegated. Do we not have an absolute clue, or are they just getting a nice early start and are about to fall apart? And actually, before that, the match, who did they play?
Southampton.
Yes.
Beat them 3-1.
Yeah, so
and battered them. Yeah.
Yes, but we haven't spoken about that because Southampton are doing dog shit. So let's discuss the match as well before we hit Hull. So matches around 6. Sorry about this. Southampton. There. Yeah, so Hull absolutely hammered Southampton 3-1. This is the match earlier where I was saying they were 3-0 up. So Joseph at 22, Lundstrom 59, McBurney at 70, and then they got a consolation Armstrong at 90 plus 5. Okay, so possession was 29% to Hull, 11 shots, 3 big chances, 71% possession to Southampton, total shots 14, only 1 big chance. So where on earth were they shooting from? And what were they doing with their chances? What do you think?
I think I'm slightly worried that Birmingham are the only team to win a game this weekend with having more possession by the sounds of things, to be honest. But now, to be fair, I know we sort of said Sheffield Wednesday a bit of a shock for the round. This was equally a bit of a shock, I think, because I mean, if Southampton will go on to, but I know they haven't started well. So if Hull had won 1-0, wouldn't have been too much of to put 3 past them and to be quite clearly the better side, probably.
Yeah.
It was, but defensively, Jesus, the goals they conceded Southampton were awful. I mean, you still got to score them, and I think McBurney scores a great header from a I think it was a corner or a free kick or something. But they just, to go back, we had them down as 23rd, did you say? Yeah, they're kind of making us look a bit stupid, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, in fairness, a lot of it seems to be McBurney. He really is good at assisting. He does not care who scores. He is not a greedy player whatsoever. Now, he was on our list in the summer, wasn't he? And he was an interesting player that I
think he was he had a relegation. I think he had $1 million relegation release clause.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a ton of money, and he was a good experienced player. I wonder if we would have went in for him had we not been able to get Kiefer.
Yeah.
I wonder. And maybe not. I don't know. I do think there were some people that had mentioned maybe he wouldn't, maybe Phil wouldn't be Phil's type of play, or as far as attitude or something. Maybe there's some issues that way. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Ollie McBurney.
Maybe he wanted to be the big man in the small team.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or
I'll
just
tell you what,
fights with fans.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said, or just start random fights with fans. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
If you've not seen it, Google it. But he's a good player. I mean, I think he was on our list as well. But I believe, from what I understand, is he wanted to go to Hull because he was pretty much guaranteed to play every game. So it's a bit of a coup for them, I guess. And I'll be honest, he's he was a good player at Sheffield United that I remember, but he's playing a lot better than I thought he would do.
Yeah, he was. I remember him. He was linked with a lot of the teams that you expected to be in the higher end, and it was, to me, it was a surprise when he ended up going with Hull. I thought that was, I agree. I think that's a great get for them, and obviously it's paying dividends because he's playing out of his mind. So, I think he's fantastic. Got an assist in this game too. Great player.
Okay, so I'm Hull. I'm going to go back through their matches because I find this a little interesting. They started out with Coventry, which we now know is playing very well. 0-0 draw, no big deal. Then they had the EFL Cup versus us, which ended up with 3-3.
And that was McBurney's first game for them. And he scored, 2 against us, I think? Did he score 2 against us, if I remember right? Pretty sure.
Let's have a look.
I just remember they battered you for 85
minutes.
No,
he had 1. His first one, 36 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But my point is, watch the goals irrelevant of the results. So that was a draw, but they scored 3. Then they beat Oxford 3-2. Then they had a bad match, lost 3-0 to Blackburn, which was kind of an unusual one, but c'est la vie. Then they had a loss to Bristol City in a 4-2, but they still scored 2. A draw with Swansea 2-2. And then now they're after beating Southampton 3-1. So similar to when we played it, they can score. You give them a bit of space, they can get in there and they can score on you. So they're going to pull points. They're going to pull wins, and they're going to risk in order to try and get those 3 points. And sometimes it'll go wrong. Fair enough, but if they can keep that going, and maybe McBurney is the key, if he can stay fit and if he can keep pushing the team, they might do okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, my perfect logic. Everyone's happy. Moving on.
Yes.
Fair enough. So let's go back to the table. So next up, who do we have? Next up, we have 15th Norwich City. Let's get back to my table. Who did they play?
Know about them.
Shit.
He really just asked who they played. I thought he was joking at first, and I realized
I was going to say,
no, I wasn't,
really
because
off.
Yeah, I know. This is why I've got so many screens open. Like my list is gone. I'm like, who did they play? Okay, so they lost. Aaron. No, hang on. Before I do that, let's go back to my list. Let's just do this. So Norwich City, they are currently 15th. And where did we put them? Where did they average?
I don't know. What do you think? 9th maybe ish.
I was going to say 7th because I think we all had them pretty high.
6th. Just even
Oh.
slightly higher. They averaged in the playoffs. Now, obviously, they will be aiming at playoffs. Considering how they've played so far, is that realistic? Have they just had a bad start? What do we think before we hit that match? But you know what? Let's skip that match until the end because that could be a long discussion. If we
Yeah,
have
there you
time.
go.
So we will skip the match itself. We won. Yay, we took the 3 points. They didn't. But just in general then for the season so far, they're nicely down the table. They should be aiming at playoffs and they're in 15th.
Can't pick up any points at home, can they? Which is a bit of a surprise. I think they've lost
No,
every single home
no
game.
home wins. We have no home wins, but we didn't actually play that many at home yet.
I think Michael said it, and he's bang on the nose where he said they had nothing in the middle of the park. They sold that lad, didn't they, to Ipswich, who was, he was their best midfielder. There's no two ways about it. He was their best midfielder, and I think that's really upset that team selling. I know he had a lot of injury problems, but he was really good. So I think it's upset their balance a little bit, getting rid of him.
Oh, look at that from Morgan. Manning is the first Norwich manager to lose his first 4 home games.
And to be fair, I mean, Norwich don't strike you as sort of, a fan base which are, up in arms and everything. I guess it's just because it's Norwich, isn't it? But I tell you what, the natives, if this carries on, they won't, they won't be shy about hiding their frustrations. Let's put it that way. So.
Now, there are signs. The rumblings have started with Norwich fans, and it's not an aggressive he needs to go yet, but a lot of people are starting to say this is what we were told about Manning. Everybody said he plays backwards, he plays sideways, and it is not working for them. If their midfield isn't working, and they're trying to play the ball around through the back, which then ultimately has to come through their middle again, that's a bit of a problem for them.
Here's a scenario for you. I think they've got the East Anglian derby coming up in a couple of games' time. So it might be 2-3 games' time. I may be wrong on that, but I could have sworn I heard that. And my theory is...
Yeah.
I was going to say, my theory is if that's in 3 games' time, let's say, if he, doesn't win any of those 3 and gets battered by Ipswich in that East Anglian derby, do we think he keeps his job?
No, potentially. So that will put him nicely into the international window. So next up, they have Stoke and they're away. That's not an easy one. They're winning a lot of points at the moment. Then they have West Brom at home, looking for their first home win. And then they have Ipswich away, which, although Ipswich isn't doing well at the moment, they need to start pulling up their performances as well. So, yeah, they're going to be looking to hammer them just before the international break as well.
And I think this will be the first time. Basically, a bit of backstory is I don't think Ipswich have beaten Norwich in the East Anglian derby for like a very long time. But this will be the first time I think they probably played each other where Ipswich will be the strong favourites. It's always been the other way around in previous times because of Norwich yo-yoing up and down and Ipswich not. But now the shoe's on the other foot. It'll be really interesting, that game, because you have to fear for Norwich in that at the moment.
Yeah, so you would have to say West Brom at home is the more favoured of those 3 matches, but that's not guaranteed either with the way they're playing at home so far. Interesting on that one. He could Manning be the next one up? Definitely a sack watch soon if things don't turn around. Okay. Well, we can go back into this because we'll be talking about the match itself in a little bit. So next up, then we have Wrexham in 16th. Same points as Norwich, but they have 1 goal difference better because they got a late goal against us, late second consolation, kind of. And then we have Ipswich in 17th. So how on earth are Ipswich in 17th after 6 matches? How is he not sacked yet?
5.
Oh, 5 matches.
5, and actually,
5.
I'll bring this up now because I saved it from earlier.
Oh yeah, sorry. Of course.
Has there been an
that
announcement yet for the? Corey, he said
Yes.
Blackburn. He meant Blackburn. I have not seen anything yet. Has anybody else seen anything yet on that?
What do you mean?
No,
by
but
announcement?
the expectation is it'll be a full replay.
Well,
Yeah,
that
it
was
will-
the
it will be.
expectation,
Yep.
but I also saw they're still talking about they're reviewing it. So
No, they've set
I
a precedent. There was a game a season or two. It's not a season. It's a couple of seasons back where a similar sort of thing happened, and it had to be replayed. So the game will be replayed.
I would assume, yeah. I always thought that's what it would be anyway. But I've seen a few places where it's been talked about like they're still discussing it. And
I think that's hopes and dreams.
There's a lot of sort of false sort of thing out there about the game's gone past 75 minutes and it constitutes as a result. That's not a rule. So it's going to be a full replay, and you got to feel for Blackburn on that because winning and Ipswich down to 10 men, which of course, as far as I'm aware, that won't count. So that's a red card the defender gets away with.
That 75-minute rule. I thought that did exist, but it was only if it was abandoned due to like a player injury and a team wished to kind of not continue on, not for a weather issue.
I think that might be in international competitions, but
okay, maybe that's where it came from.
FIFA. I think it might be a FIFA rule.
Yeah, it might be a FIFA rule, but as far as somebody I can't remember. I think it might have been on TalkSport. They had some ex-referee and they were sort of talking about it, and he was like, "There's no rule about it, so it'll be a full replay." Because not a game, like I said, a few seasons back got abandoned. I don't think it was a waterlogged pitch, but something else. It was like I think like floodlight failure or something like that, and the game just had to be replayed. So
now, is anybody else of the opinion that the home team should be kind of held responsible and tough shit? Lose your 3 points. Because I like at championship level, I'm kind of the opinion that your pitch should be good enough at your ground to clear the water and to deal with it. Now, of course, the question is how extreme is acceptable, because then you have snow and other issues. Well, you can't clear snow if it comes down fast enough. So would that be acceptable then? Or is it just, sorry, winter, tough shit, move to a better part of the country? Because I kind of think you should be looking after your pitch and most of these problems wouldn't happen.
I think it's easy to say that because it's Blackburn and there's a lot of off the field issues, and you could make an argument that they don't put a lot of money into, say, the facilities. But considering, I think, the amount of rain and the amount of, I think it's just a Mother Nature, isn't it? You can't do much about that. I think the annoying thing is that it was so obvious at halftime by all accounts that this was going to be an issue in the second half. And apparently they said, the pitch was looking a bit dodgy at halftime, and it took so long to actually pull the players off. And I think they said it's the referees do this sort of 15-minute thing where they sort of think they know there's an issue with the pitch, but then they continue for 15 minutes to see how bad it can get. It's an issue, but I don't think you can do much about it.
Look, that idea of waiting 15 minutes, I think, is ridiculous, because I think it just allows potential for injury with players. you can get your stud stuck. You can go over on your ankle. You can do all sorts of stuff if the ground is that bad. Personally, so anyway, so Ipswich got lucky. Well, we'll wait and see what happens, but it's almost certainly going to be replayed. So Ipswich were losing 1-0 fairly late in the match. Cat, shh.
Didn't like the idea of a replay, clearly.
I know.
Yeah.
But Ipswich was on 10 men. They got a red card. Who got it? Jacob Greaves at 49 minutes. Yes, and Cantwell scored their penalty at 59 minutes. Okay, do I need to move that cat? Because I'm not sure how loud that's coming out.
You can hear it. You can hear it.
Okay, you guys talk. I'm going to dump the cat somewhere.
All right. But yeah, so what do you? I mean, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I think it's very hard. I mean, personally for me, it's very hard to feel anything other than I think Ipswich got away with one in that regard. But as an Ipswich fan reminded me the other day, he said, you don't know what's going to happen in the potential replay game. They may lose it 2-0 and lose 2 players to bad injuries, for example. So at the moment it feels harsh on Blackburn, but until that replay is done, you can't really say for sure which way it's going to come out. But I mean, the honest answer is you're playing a parachute team that you're beating, and they're down to 10 men. So you are going to feel hard done by no matter what, really. So
yeah, it's I mean, I guess like there's no good way to do it. I think the only thing you can do is replay it, but it'll be, God, just imagine if the guy that got the red card scores the goal and they win, and he scores the winner.
As somebody said you put your mortgage on that. You know, it's 1-0 Ipswich in the replay. Jacob Greaves from a corner. You know, in the 90th minute, you just see it, can't you?
Yeah.
The cat was real popular with the chat, though, Patty. In case you're wondering.
That's why I showed her for a second. The cat's kind of saying, "You're still awake. Let's play."
Yeah.
It's like, what are you still doing awake? Okay, so are we finished with this one for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Table. Who's next? Next up, we've Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn Rovers, we just spoke about. So, where are they in my list? Blackburn Rovers. Okay. Where did we put them in our average? Come on, guys. It's not like I haven't asked you before.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think what I've said.
Yeah, I was trying to think too, to be honest. I had them lower, maybe around 16 or so. I don't know.
Yeah, 15, I was going to say 18th, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
18th. You're getting good at this game.
Dude, John's killing it.
Yeah.
He's nailing it.
Just lucky.
Okay, so we expect them to be aiming mid-table. We put them a bit lower, and they are a bit lower at the moment. Not doing too well. I think they look like they're going to pull this around too easily. You know, don't see an easy change around on them.
They don't look a great side, do they? That's the thing.
Okay, so should they be on sack watch?
No, because I don't think it's that bad yet.
Okay, so let's have a look at their next matches. See how bad it's going to get.
I don't rate the manager. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to need to be like in the bottom 3 and really looking dire. I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, they just had a match to replay, which makes a difference. Right. So next up, they have Charlton. That is an away match. Following that, they have Swansea at home, and then Stoke at home. So if they don't win this next match, they could be in for a tough time before that international break. It's not out of the realms of possibility. They could lose all 3 matches.
Yeah, they really need to win that Charlton game.
Just to take the pressure off a little bit,
Yeah, I think so.
Just to make Nathan Jones cry would be justification for me.
Yeah,
But, you know.
Yeah, agreed. Bye, Esteban. He's off to work. See you later, buddy.
Now, surely Ismail's not feeling too comfortable with what's happened so far, being a new manager.
No, I think the thing is, I think in any normal club, yes, there could be a bit extra pressure, but I think with the Venkis and the ownership and everything at Blackburn, I think they don't like spending money, do they? Or they haven't got a lot of money to spend, so I'm not sure
in the
they
first
will.
place, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure they
It's
would.
not an easy idea to get rid.
No, and the other thing is are they actually going to go and find anyone better than him to take the job as well? As daft as that sounds. Yeah, let's remember Eustace did leave them when they were practically in the playoffs to go for Derby when they were in relegation, so which kind of spoke volumes, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so they might have to live with their choice and see what happens. Roll that dice. Now, next up then, moving on, this is an interesting one. Southampton, 19th place. So let's give a heads up here. Average for Southampton between the three of us. Now, you should be able to pick this one.
2.
2. Well done, Aaron. Yep. All of us picked second.
I was going to say, I bet everybody did too. Yeah.
Across the board. So will they turn this around, or are we really showing we don't have a clue what we're talking about?
I think definitely. I think they can turn it around. They should be able to turn it around. I think Will still has to be on sack watch to be where they're at right now. I know it's still a little early, but I mean they've got to start getting some results. That they're not going to be happy with that. They
It wasn't too early for Sheffield United.
Right. I know that's what I'm saying. I was just getting ready to say, I mean, he's kind of getting into that territory where, I mean, he's got a couple wins, and should they have? I mean, really, they shouldn't have beat us. We should have at least got a draw out of that game. We nearly, if Hardy's goal goes in, we'd probably win that game. That was that's looking back on that now. I mean, how different things could have been had we held out and won that game.
Now, I would say the reason we didn't hold out that game and potentially win it was our poor summer warm-up. Let's say we went for the money rather than the proper.
I don't think
so be it. But no, but
maybe a little bit. They were, but gassed. also
they brought on players.
They brought on like $40 million worth of players in the they because they still had a couple of players that ended up.
We had no bench, and the guys we had were absolute gassed. So it's fair enough. But yeah.
Out of interest, how many games have they lost so far this season?
Okay.
I won't deny I haven't seen the table, so I don't. I'm just wondering.
They lost one against Stoke 2-1. And then they lost against Hull this last one, just 2.
So it's just two losses. Yeah. Okay.
2 losses and 3 draws.
So it's the draws that are killing them then, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which they can turn around. The draw to a win is not as difficult, I guess, to
I was going to say, if they were sat on sort of 3-4 losses, then I would be more inclined to agree with the sack watch in that regard. But 2 losses and draws can be easily turned into victories, especially when you got their squad. So, not saying he's not under pressure, though. He's under pressure for sure.
Okay. So, what they have before the international break then. Next up, basically tonight, because I've passed midnight, is Liverpool in the Cup, which is obviously a big team. Can they afford to play their best players and have a slightly weakened squad the weekend, where they play Middlesbrough? Don't think Middlesbrough is one of the teams you want to be taken lightly at the moment.
I think they'll make a lot of changes, but then again, so will Liverpool. It'll be a kids'
Yeah.
side.
So we leave that aside then. In the Championship, they have home match versus Middlesbrough. They have an away match versus Sheffield United, who may be coming into form at that point. Or may not.
Could be a fight with the bottom two by that game, couldn't it?
It could be. Technically, it's probably possible. And then they have Derby away. So Derby would be the easiest match, kind of on those three. Away match versus Derby, but the next two are potentially not easy. It's weird that we keep saying that Sheffield United might be a tough match. Well, maybe at some point. Not so far.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Southampton, you look at the squad, don't you? And even with Will Still, you just look at the squad and you're going to go, well, even like against Middlesbrough, you'd say, well, they should win that, with the players. But the start of the season, to me, doesn't suggest they're going to beat them. But they, like I said, they're going to have to turn it round. I think the worst thing that could happen is, like you said, the next two games could be quite tough. As daft as it sounds, I think 2 draws are probably worse there than sort of losing one of them badly and then nicking a win or something. You just think, at this moment in time, you'd probably just you just take the points. But tough run of games though.
Yes, it is. Okay, so moving on then. Next up in 20th, we have Oxford. And Oxford United play Sheffield United next. They are on only 5 points in their 6 matches. Doing better than people expected.
Yeah, I think they've been all right. They struggled. It seemed like they got. If I'm in my head, I'm thinking they struggled to get started, but they've kind of came on here lately.
Last 5 is loss, draw, win.
Okay, so they're coming on a little bit here lately then. They're a team. I mean, they're a team that I think they're gonna be fighting relegation. They're gonna be down and around it. But Rout's a good manager, and I mean, if I remember right, I think I had them just outside relegation. I don't think I had them getting relegated, if I remember right. So it'll be interesting how they go. But yeah, I do think they've gotten better, and obviously, fantastic result yesterday against Bristol, 3-1 win against Bristol. I think that's
good.
That's a great result for them. That's an away win too, and I was away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a fantastic result. So we'll see.
I think they look pretty good. I'm going to say something really stupid now, but I'm going to say everyone says they'll be in a relegation battle, and I sort of agree they will be. And notoriously, I'd look at them and look at their performance, and you look at Rowett and you go, well, then they got enough to stay up. The biggest problem is who goes down, because obviously, other than Sheffield Wednesday, I'm kind of, I kind of look at Oxford and go, well, they might stay up, and then I look at Charlton, how they're going to stay up, and then you go through all the teams. Eventually, you get to the point you say, well, somebody does have to go down.
Somebody's got to go down.
Somebody does need to go down. So that's my biggest fear for Oxford is somebody has to go down, and unfortunately, even though they're not a bad side in that regard, they're not terrible. Is there going to be 2 other teams worse than them? Take Sheffield Wednesday out of the equation. I don't know, is the honest answer. I look at them and think they've got enough to stay up, but then I say the same about a lot of teams that kind of down there.
Yeah.
So is Rowett in for the long haul here? He won't be swapped out. They can't get anyone better. Is he kind of at the moment safe until he's right down the bottom.
Oh, I think he's safe as houses. I think Ox's
You
biggest
just have to go with him.
Yeah, I think Ox's biggest failing might be that he might get a better offer at some point in the season.
Okay. Then next up Oxford we have put as average 19th. So we think they'll just escape at the end of the season. And that remains to be seen. We'll leave it with them. Next, we have Watford. Average for Watford. What do we think, guys?
I think I had them getting relegated or real close to it. But I think I was an outlier, though. I think you guys had them a little higher.
Yeah, I think I had them a lot higher than I probably wish I'd
do now.
Yeah. I want to say possibly average 19th.
15th.
Yeah, where did I have them? Did I have them getting relegated?
I'd have to look at it.
I didn't know if you had it offhand.
I don't have it offhand yet.
That's all right. Don't worry about
Not
it.
anymore.
I can't remember. It was either them or Stoke. Either them or Stoke. I had one of those two teams going down as just somebody random. I figured somebody random would go down.
Okay, but now we do have Sackwatch because those owners are a little crazy and are probably looking top 10.
Yeah, I think that goes. I mean, really, as soon as you take the job at Watford, you're on Sackwatch, right? Isn't that how that goes?
I think there's that running joke, didn't there? They're saying that, whenever you get an Italian manager that's managed in England goes for a job, they say, 9 times out of 10 he's got Watford on his CV. So they just burn through managers. So yeah, it's not looking good for them, is it? Let's be honest.
No. So just to go through the next 3 matches ahead of the international break, they are next up versus Hull away. Oh, sorry, at home. They're at home and playing Hull. We've already spoken about them. They love goals. So I see Hull winning that one. Portsmouth away, and then Oxford United at home. So mixed bag of teams there. They could pull out some wins. Not the hardest teams before the international break, but if they happen to lose them, that would not look good.
I think they're just unpredictable, aren't they? I don't know about you guys, but with Watford, I just, when we do our footy tips, when Watford are on there, it's kind of just pluck something out of the air because, honest to God, you just don't know what it's going to be. There's no rhyme or reason to their results at all. Whenever you think they're going to lose, they just go and win. And whenever you think they're going to win, they just go and put a stinker in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I thought they actually looked really good today. Which is, I mean, it's just just seeing them play, I thought they looked probably, I mean, they were definitely looked the better team to me. And definitely more aggressive, more attacking. I think Luza, the midfielder, I think he looked really good today. Kiprianu, he's a good one too. And then it was kind of confusing because I got two players with the last name of Mindy. And so when I was like, times where I was just listening, I'm like, I didn't know which one was which, you know what I mean? Because they just say Mindy, and it's like, where's the ball at? But yeah, but I'll tell you what, that Aaron Kunda, I think he's going to be a game changer for him. I think when he's on the ball, he looks electric. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I still think they could. You never know, but I think they could do something still. I think they could get away from it. It wouldn't surprise me if they got up and away from it and were fairly comfortable.
Do you think he stays past January, or do you think somebody comes and buys him?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
He has looked good out of what you would say is a pretty average side.
Do you think they do it in January? You think they do it that quick, or would you think?
I think those owners are bonkers. So I think anything's possible. But I think you would have to pay, probably, knowing them, you'd have to pay some
big
money.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind having.
Well, let's be honest. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to sell him to Udinese because it's in their
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going to happen. But
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be interesting. I hadn't really thought about it because they did just get him in, right? He just came in there, right? So I don't know. He looks electric though, dude. He looks electric.
yeah, don't tell Ken. He gets too excited about it.
Ken will be real excited about him. I'm disappointed that Ken, you watching? I'm disappointed you didn't have him on your list of Australian players we're supposed to buy. What the hell, Ken? How'd you miss that one?
Yeah, that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm blaming Ken. Watch, you probably did have him. I just don't remember. Oh, shoot.
Okay. I don't think there's any way in the world that they're in a good enough position they should be selling him in January. They're going to need him, surely.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, with those owners, you never know, do you? That's the thing.
Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, next up then. Let's move on from Watford. We're nearly there. We are now into the drop zone. Derby County, 5 points. Aiming mid-table, so not doing great. Average, we put them at 14th. So they need to pull out. But injuries are killing them for the moment. And next up, Wrexham have them. So, have we a sack watch on Derby? Or are we letting him survive while he has injuries?
I think he's probably safe for a while. I think it'd have to get pretty bad. I think he worked a minor miracle keeping him up last season. So, I mean, if you're gonna be, if they're gonna be in a relegation fight, do you really want to get rid of the manager that kept you up last season? I mean, I don't know. I think they probably did expect him to kick on though and move up the table, but with the injuries, I mean, that's you can use that as an excuse. But I think it's fair though. I think it's a fair excuse to use. We'll see. I think they'll give him time though. I think it'll have to get a lot worse before they move on.
Well, it could get a lot worse. His next 3 matches are Wrexham at home. I keep doing the wrong way around because we're talking about Derby at the moment. So Derby are away at Wrexham. They are at home playing Charlton, and then they're at home playing Southampton. Next 3 matches before the international break. So they need to pull out a win there somewhere. Maybe Charlton. Hopefully not us. Hope we give them a good kick in next week and get our first home win.
Yeah.
Then Southampton.
Yeah, I'm going to say Eustace is safe as houses because he only ever leaves a job if he wants to leave when they're in 6th, or he gets fired when they're in 6th. So he's safe now. But now, all jokes aside, I think they've invested too much into him. They bought him in. He's bought into the project. They've given him a fair amount of money in the summer. Injuries is one thing, but I think there's no doubt about it. The longer they hover around where they are now, they will start to get twitchy because they will not want to be in a relegation battle this season at all.
No. But that then leaves the 2 Sheffields. Now, because this can just not happen very easily, I assume 2 teams with the same name have never gone down together. Have they? Now, not United, because I know lots of teams of Uniteds and cities. Have 2 Sheffields ever moved up or down together? Probably not.
Not that I can remember. I'm trying to think if Man United and Man City ever got relegated together.
Don't
think so.
Okay, so first up is Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know how much more we can say about them. We've been talking about them since the summer. Everybody expects they will go down at some point. Bannon is keeping them alive, getting a couple of points here and there. But I don't think there's any way he can support that team for long enough to get them out of the relegation.
No, and I think they're also going to get a points deduction, aren't they? I think that's a pretty well-known fact that they, because the amount of EFL things they broke this season, that will come at some point. And I think the EFL are probably just trying to be a bit nice to Sheffield and probably not give it them straight away and allow them to go through the season and probably hit them towards the end when it's looking like a foregone conclusion anyway. So.
Okay. And then Sheffield United. 6 losses in a row, 0 points. Does anybody happen to know off the top of your head, I doubt it, the record for the longest number of losses in a row from the start of the season?
I may be wrong in this, but I want to say Sheffield Wednesday the other season. Because I think Sheffield Wednesday, not last season, the season before, I could have sworn they lost every game for the first couple of months of the season. I may be completely wrong there. I think I did read somewhere that, you know, you've had, I think it's Peterborough and Wickham in the Championship who have started the season with 7 losses in a row or something like that in recent seasons. So there has been a few more.
Okay. So we have had a restart on Sheffield United. Is it totally unexpected that they lost this match?
I think if you're being honest, it's probably not. But I think everyone probably bought into the new manager bounce Wilder.
Yep.
It's Mr. Sheffield United. And I think everyone just thought, oh, it's, you know, Sheffield, you know, it's Wilder. They're at home, first game. And I bet even Nathan Jones probably thought, you know what, I could have done without this as a fixture, to be honest. But no, I can say when you look at the type of team Charlton were and you look at Sheffield United, it can't be a surprise. But yeah, it's one of those where I think, you know, was it 6 losses on the back? The thing I was wondering about now is the ownership have to carry the can for this, because you'd say 6 losses, 6 losses, they are out of the automatic promotion hunt straight off the bat. And I would even argue they're quite possibly out of the playoff hunt already, because I think everyone sort of said, you know, is it around 10 or 11 losses you could probably afford a season for playoffs? I think that's the thing that's floating around, is that most playoff teams average around sort of 10, 11 losses a season or something like that. So you look at, well, they've lost 6 already. Are they really going to go the whole season without losing another 6, 7, 8 games? You'd probably say no. So you kind of think, well, that's promotion hope's already over, and it's their last year of parachute money. So the owners have basically screwed this up big style, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's been an absolute disaster. And let's be honest, they got rid of some good players, and I'm not sure that they did a great job of replacing. You know, I don't. Yeah, I didn't think the recruitment was very good this summer. I don't know. I'm not impressed with them at all. They look like they have no confidence at all. And I was with you. I actually thought they would. I thought they would kick on when he come in and get that manager bounce. But yeah, I don't know. It's just surprising. I don't really know what else to say. Here's the thing. Like, I mean, where are they going to get goals from? How are they not getting goals? Like, how is that team? I mean, they've got enough in that team. They should be scoring some goals, and they're not scoring anything.
Not creating anything either. I think that's the.
I know. I mean, and Gus Hammer was the best. He was the player of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that happen? I don't know.
I think one of their big problem is that they sold too many big players in the summer and replaced them with, it's going to sound stupid, but average championship players, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold the guy at the back, Alman Hodzic, and they replaced him with Tyler Binden, essentially, I think. I mean, when you look at it in the whole cold, hard facts, it's like, well, are you surprised? Really? You know?
Yeah.
But and I think the other thing that's really probably going to hurt them is that I mean, obviously Moore didn't start every game for them. He was an impact player, but that option's gone now. And of course, Sellers and that didn't want that option big man off the bench, whereas Wilder always liked to have that up his sleeve. He hadn't got that now, so it's kind of like he's got the squad he has. And as I said earlier, his interview after that game, I thought was like, you know, he was like, yeah, this is a really big job we have here. You know, this isn't just gonna. I'm not just gonna come in and flick a switch and we're suddenly going to be like last season. I think he knows they got a long, hard road ahead of them.
I'm with Morgan. I think Tanganga and McGinnis, I think once they get settled, I think they'll be pretty decent. They'll be good. He'll get it figured out. I mean, you just assume they're going to get it figured out. I do still worry about the goals, though. And Michael brought up Louis Berry. He's not really done anything for him. But I don't know that he was ready for that level yet. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of a big move for him.
Doesn't have the pace.
No, and he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've seen him plenty of times, but I just don't know if he was ready to be performing at the high end of the championship. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But you'd think he'll get it. Wilder will get that figured out, I would think.
But yeah, but where does that, you know, getting it figured out is one thing, but
yeah,
is it going to be mid-table? You know, it's one of those.
Right.
Where, this start has killed them.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, how do they even? I mean, I don't think they're almost at a point now where it's hard to imagine them getting to playoffs. You know what I mean? They've dug themselves such a hole.
Well,
think about the average. Think about the average points you'd have to get to the playoffs right now. I could probably do the math. So
it's in around.
What are we saying? What are we saying gets you into?
Last season was 68.
Okay, so last season was 68. Okay, so and I think it'll be higher this season because I think it'll be better. But let's go with 68 though, because that's fair. So if it's 68, how many games we got left? 40, right? So
yeah, 6 gone. Yeah.
I think the big problem is you're relying on them to
1.7.
1.7. So I guess it's not quite as bad as I thought, but it's still.
But it's not easy. It's not simple to get a 1.7 average.
No, it's not, especially when you've lost your first 6.
Yeah, that's the thing. It might take them another 5 games to find a bit of form,
get going,
and then all of a sudden you're 11 games into the season,
and you need a 2-point average just to slide playoffs.
Yeah, and it's just like that. Then you're into the realms of you have to be perfect every week, and they're not going to be. So
do they if he comes in let's say 7th, just outside the playoffs, doesn't make it, they have to stick with him next season. There's no blaming him at that point. and moving on another manager.
As I heard earlier, which was tongue in cheek, but somebody said, if they're in the bottom 3 by January or by Christmas, does he get the sack again? Probably does.
Yeah.
As daft as that sounds, probably does.
Yeah, I'm with you. How do you keep? I mean, honestly, I can't believe they went back to him. You know what I mean? Straight away. Because that's just, I mean, you already decided that wasn't what you wanted. You know what I mean? And then to go immediately back to him after 5 matches, I don't know. I feel like they're in for some trouble ahead. I think that ownership's got problems.
Okay, well, their next matches are not terribly bad. We went through this last week. So who do they have next? Because I want to go over the next 5 matches. What happens if he loses all 5 again?
Well,
Because they sacked one
Yeah.
manager for 5.
Yeah, Sellers didn't reach number 6, did he? So
Set a precedent.
yeah. I mean, I don't think there was any doubt Wilder would have gone back because he's a Sheffield fan, so he was always going to say yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just, for me, I just kind of look at it and think it's a law of averages. He cannot be successful every single. I mean, it's the 3rd time he's gone back now. It's just like, there is going to come a time where he's going to go back and it will not work.
Mhm.
And you kind of think the deck is kind of stacked against him this time. You think this is the biggest job at Sheffield he's had. I don't know. He's going to need to work his magic there. He really is.
Okay, so next up is Oxford United with Sheffield away. Then they have Southampton at home, and then Hull away, and then Watford at home. So Oxford, in theory, like we just said about Charlton, they should probably win that one. But if they don't, they next hit Southampton, and then Hull, who can fire goals in, and then last one. Oh, that is actually the break then for the international break, but that doesn't really matter here. And then they come back to Watford, Blackburn, and Preston. Then see, they're coming into technically easier matches. You wouldn't expect them to lose all of these.
No, but you wouldn't have expected them to get battered against Bristol in the first game of
Yeah,
the season.
I wouldn't have expected them to lose 6 in a row.
I tell you what though. I mean, you say about Oxford. Is it Oxford away this coming weekend?
they're away. Yes.
Yeah, I tell you what. Having lost 6 on the bounce, going away to a Gary Rowett side,
Yeah.
that is not a game I would want. I think if you offered Wilder and Sheffield United a point away at Oxford right now, they are snatching that with both hands, getting back on the bus and getting out there as quick as possible.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've kicked Sheffield United enough. let's give him another match and then see if he deserves another kicking. That one's probably going to play out for a little bit, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about Sheffield. But we have almost gone a full match length, and we haven't spoken about our match yet.
Yep.
And everybody wants to talk about Kaboré, who is, after one match, some people are saying potentially the best right wing in the league. Or right wing back, I suppose there isn't that many of them if you go by that logic. But yeah, a lot of people are high on our new boy, our new loan. And as they say, don't fall in love with a loan player, because if you do, we might end up spending a lot of money to try and keep him. So, who wants to start on our lovely win at the weekend?
I thought it was a great win. I thought the scoreline flattered them a little bit. I don't think they deserved the second goal. But that's okay. I think, yeah, I mean, Kaboré was fantastic. And I thought, and not just going forward.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job defensively too. I thought Longman actually, and nobody's talked much about Longman. I thought Longman played really well too. On the other side, our wing backs were very good this weekend. Sheaf was tremendous. I think two of the goals he set up with really good passes. The one to Kaboré, where he kicked it out wide to Kaboré, that pass was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then of course Wendas is in there by himself, and he's not missing that. Wendas is a different. I mean, yeah, he's special. He is special. He is really good. I think having him in the team just changes everything. I liked. It was funny. I liked. I liked the box midfield he went with. I liked the 3-4-2-1. Um, it was funny because we were talking on Thursday during the show, me and Ken, and we were talking about what the lineup could possibly look like. And I'd thrown out there, I was like, I could see Parkey just because it's him. I think he brought in Windass and Broadhead, and he kind of mentioned this in one of his interviews over the weekend. He brought those two in. I think he expects to play them together, and I think he still does. But I was telling Ken on that show, I think it's a very Parky thing to. It wouldn't surprise me if he played one and then played one of the midfielders up forward in that other spot to be a little more defensively sound, a little more, so playing O'Brien as the other forward, or the other 10, basically behind Moore, I think didn't surprise me that much. And I actually said that's probably would be the one he'd go with if he did that. I tell you who else I thought, really a lot of the guys played really well. I'd think Dobson again was fantastic. The way he stepped up has really surprised me because I thought he'd struggle. Just because I think it's more. I think it's just more. He looks so awkward sometimes. The way he runs, he has this really awkward gait to him.
Yeah.
And so you just don't expect him to be as good as he ends up being in it. I think he looks fantastic so far. And then I think him playing deeper in that in that a deeper role where he can just be more of an anchor and just break up play. I think that suits him down to the T. I think it's a perfect role for him. So even as he was playing really well forward, but I think now back in that in that center defensive mid spot, I think he is just built. He's perfect for that role, and it gives Sheaf the chance to really move and make some of those big passes that he makes. It gives him the option to go forward a little bit and make some of those killer balls. Yeah, I thought we were great. Hyam, I thought looked pretty good. I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't pay a ton of attention to the back three. I did think when we made the change to Brunt, I thought Brunt looked really good in the second half. I do wonder. I was listening. Can't remember which one it was. I was listening to somebody, and they said they thought they had taken Doyle off for an injury, and I thought he just came off because he was on a yellow. I figured they just pulled him because he was on a yellow, and he kind of looked like he could possibly get another one. And so I don't know what's going on there. I can't remember who I was listening to. Somebody mentioned they thought he may have came off with an injury at halftime, but when I was watching the game, I just assumed it was because he was on a yellow, and so they changed him out with Brunt. But I thought Brunt looked excellent in the second half. Yeah, I thought, see that. There you go, Michael. No, Doyle was terrible and on a yellow.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wonder if the injury thing is a little bit of cover, because potentially if he maybe needs to drop him, and put Brunt in for one match just to give him a bit of training time or whatever to maybe adjust some things about how he's positioning and that. It's an easy cover to say he had a tweak or, some minor injury, and we're just giving him a little time off. So
That's fair. Yeah.
but it's hard to know, of course. It's unusual for Parky to do that. It is.
Yeah.
Even with a yellow.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Watching him though, he looked like that second yellow was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me that he brought him off, because that was totally my thoughts. I thought he's pulling him off because of the yellow.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
it's not a bad
was
tactic.
great.
Yeah.
No,
It's
not.
not a bad tactic at all. Especially if you can see that he's getting dragged and he's not getting in the right positions. It means he's going to have to reach for some of the tackles and may end up with that extra yellow that you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. They wouldn't know him. Yeah, that's an interesting point there, Michael. I don't know if they. Yeah, I'd have to watch it back again because I didn't think that during the game, like it hadn't popped in my head. But maybe they were targeting him. Maybe they were going at him. But he was definitely not. He wasn't playing fantastic. Let's be honest. Yeah. Moore I thought was good. I thought he was going to get on the one goal. He made a great move to the inside, and he beat the defender, but that touch just let him down. He put a little too much on that touch, and he couldn't quite get to it. And the keeper was able to come out and make a good stop. And their keeper was fantastic, by the way. I thought he was really good. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but he was really good. Because I'll be honest, it could have been 6 if they didn't have, if their keeper wasn't good. You know what I mean? It was. I mean, goodness, I think O'Brien probably 2 of those goals, or 2 of his shots, you would have thought would have been goals on most, against most keepers. I thought a couple of stops he made were great. Yeah.
Yeah, and beside that as well, there was a couple of balls through to Kiefer where he was just a step behind for tap-ins.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not blaming Kiefer. Either could be true. If he had started just a little bit quicker, he would have been there. At the same time, if Kaboré had maybe been a slightly more accurate on where exactly he was passing, then that too could have made the difference. But look, these are things that just happen. But they were very close as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it'll be, the broadhead thing will be interesting. Parky already said, I don't know if you guys saw
he's playing tomorrow.
His interview from today. He's already said he's playing tomorrow. I would be surprised if he changed. I think he'll stick with that formation tomorrow because I think he'll want to see Broadhead in that role. So I would be surprised if he changed that. I mean, he might do, but I think he's going to want to start bringing him in. I think he's going to want to see him and Windass together. You know what I mean?
So are you expecting them to play Windass as well?
No, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I mean he'll be on the bench. I think he'll be on the bench. He'll be a bench.
Yeah, emergency cover.
Right. But I think he'll want to see him playing in the in the 2. You know what I mean? And just to get him some time in it.
It's an interesting question for the cup match tomorrow because obviously we want to win this match. I would expect. You don't want to be going out at this point with a big Prem match, most likely in the next round. But if he is definitely moving forward with this new formation, this is a good chance to get your secondary players time in that formation before you end up in a scenario that someone is injured and you have to play them and they haven't had the opportunity to try it. Now, okay, it might be multiple secondary players trying to play the formation, and let's hope that doesn't fall apart because they're all not used to it. But how else are you going to get the minutes on the pitch in a real match if that's the system you're planning on using moving forward? So maybe it is a very good idea. And if you absolutely stack the bench, which is kind of what I hope he does, give whatever players you want time in the cup, they should be strong enough to take out the team, Reading, anyway.
Yeah.
But failing that, if that's not working, then you bring on your absolutely stacked bench, as many as possible, to try and finish it out. And if not, most of those you're bringing on are very solid for penalties if you have to.
Let's see. So Morgan, let's see what we got here. Morgan's saying Burton, Scar, Cody, Brunt, Barney, Macca, James, Thomason, Lee, Broadhead, and Smith. I actually could see, instead of Lee, I could see it being Hardy.
Yeah.
And Hardy actually played that. He played that role last season at Plymouth. Scored a bunch of goals. They went to that formation in the second half of the season last year, and he scored like 10 goals from it. He was struggling the first half of the season, and really started playing well when he went to when they went to a 3-4-2-1. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him play him and Broadhead behind Smith. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, most of the rest of that, I think I agree with though. I think that's probably what we're going to see. Honestly, though, I wonder if Brunt will be interesting, because if he doesn't start Brunt tomorrow, then I would expect Brunt to start Saturday. Yeah. So that'll be one to watch. So we'll see. See which one of those two he starts on the left-hand side of the back three. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Here's a question: what do you think with Scar and Cody? Who plays where? Who plays the right side?
I put Scar on the right.
Would you? Okay. That's
because for me, Scar is a more known quantity. We know what we get out of Scar. I would leave Cody where you want to play him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be Scar. Morgan says Scar on the right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Probably. It's a weird one.
I'd like to see.
What would you like to see?
100-meter race between Scar and Cody.
That'll be the longest 100-meter race you ever watched.
9.5 seconds.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. That'd be that'd take a while. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, I think we're all probably on the same page as far as who we think to be playing. Michael says Cody can be left on the bench. That's harsh. That's harsh, Michael. It's harsh.
It is, yeah.
Let's see. Wendaz has strong for the right wing back. I would do send Broadhead and left wing back. Yeah. It'd be good to see. Be good to see them play together. See what they can do. But yeah, I don't know. What's your thought? I mean, what are you thinking, Patty? What do you think about tomorrow? Pretty confident?
Yeah, I would have to suggest that we should be confident with the second string team, with our cup team. Because they have been threatening to score in league matches when we needed them at the start of the season. Now, the results didn't go our way. So I would expect that we have enough there to, say, have a 2-1 and allow them to get a goal on us with our ex-Wrexham player, because we can almost guarantee that's going to happen.
Well, I've not, and I'll be honest, I've not paid any attention. Is he starting for them regularly now, or is he playing?
I think he scored.
I know he scored, but is he a starter for them, or is he coming off the bench? Do you know?
I can have a look.
I've not looked up at all. I've just know going off of what I've heard.
I think he's been starting, but let me confirm it.
So I wonder if how strong they'll go tomorrow. To be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. They might not be able to use Marriott.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't know what their schedule looks like coming up, but if they got a bunch of games coming too,
Okay, so they're in 20th. They're just outside the relegation zone, so they're not really in a great position to be risking too much.
right?
And
That's what I'm saying.
and their next league match is Stockport County.
Yeah, I could see them holding him back and not playing him because of that reason. Yeah, Josh said he started 3 and scored 3. It's interesting.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so will he play against us? Hopefully not.
Yeah,
if they don't play him against us, they're basically giving up.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think you're just. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Parkey did it last year in the EFL Cup. I mean, he was putting in the second string guys, uh, just like he's doing this year. Even if we, no matter who we played. So I mean, I don't know if you're giving up, but I think you're prioritizing your league, the league over the cup. You know what I mean? And I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Maybe you get past this round, maybe you start thinking about playing some better players. But I don't think we're quite there yet.
For us?
Huh? I think for most teams. I'm talking about them specifically, but I think even for us too. I don't see us going for it until I don't see them.
Yeah,
I
look,
don't think,
for us, there's no point in going first team
no.
because
I
we're
don't
the
think we
stronger
need to.
team. Yeah, we shouldn't need to, and I don't think we do need to. So even if they do play Marriott, I think our team is strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Agreed. But for them, I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to play
I
that
don't think
stronger
I would.
team
No,
with a Saturday match and issues in the league because they've played more. They've played 9 matches. So at this stage they should be settled. Well, Reading have played 8. Other teams have played 9. So they're just outside the relegation zone, and Burton Albion are 3 points behind them with a game in hand as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, we better not lose that bloody match. I'll be really upset if we lose that match.
John's taking a nap on us. Oh shit. Good stuff. Now, you got anything chip in there, John? Anything?
No. I would just say you pick your second string aside, and if you get knocked out, don't stress about it. It's the league is everything.
We've got a documentary to worry about, John. What do you mean? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. The last thing, trust me.
Where do you think our money comes from?
The last thing you want is to win that game and then get, say Chelsea the next game. Then you will be forced to play your full strength side, and then that's not what you don't want to go full leather against a Chelsea side with your full strength side and then pick up a bad injury to a Windass or a Moore or something like that. That's what you don't want.
Yeah.
So it's like play the second string, get through. Great. If you don't jump off the deep end about it. So, it will be what it will be.
Arsenal at home or Spurs away. Perfect for the Dockle.
I saw the highlights, Michael, to be fair. Some great defending in that game. That's what I would say.
We can beat Chelsea.
Chelsea got smashed this weekend. Listen, the United fan.
I do have a question about your weekend game.
Go on.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any doubts about AO?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll be honest.
Yes.
Only from the highlights, I thought the Windass goal, the one where he pings it in top corner, is a lovely goal. Best goal of the game. All the other goals are absolute defensive calamities for me. And I thought, I think is it Longman who scored your second goal?
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be kicking my goalkeeper for letting that one in.
Do you know what? I will defend their goalkeeper on that one. Two simple points is that the ball was kicked into the ground, so it was bouncing at an awkward angle, always going up away from the keeper. It can be hard to keep track of those. The other one was he did have a defender right in front of him as
Yeah,
it
I
was
was gonna
kicking,
say,
and
I think he
it
had a
can
few
block
players
it
in
can
front of
block
him.
your view, and with
Mhm.
the trajectory of the ball going up, that they can be difficult.
The
To
Longman
get to.
one's a P roller, so you should save that. Like I said, the Windass one's a wonderful goal. And I think it was just it was just some of the defence. I mean, it was like their first goal. It was like, where the hell was your defence? I mean, he's the damn right back, weren't he? And I think the same for was it Windass's second goal, where he went through 1-on-1?
I still think their first goal was offsides, but that's just me.
Well, I'm going to say it does kind of scream that, because you just think, how on earth has he got from where he was to there, and where's your defence, basically?
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was easily offside, but
yeah, and their second goal should never happen. Your goalkeeper just simply cannot do that.
Yeah, he just puts it right back into danger. You know what I mean? And he knew it. He knew he screwed up, but it's just.
But he's done that a lot, though.
I know.
As a neutral looking in, it seems to be his thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people questioning starting Danny Ward at the beginning of the season, and I think we're seeing why. You know, I think we're seeing exactly why. But and then here, what do you think about? I mean, okay, so what if Burton comes out tomorrow and does it all right, looks good, and we saw him last season. I thought he looked really good last season.
I won't change him.
You're sticking with AO no matter what.
No, not no matter what. What I would want is Burton to have an amazing match in the cup tomorrow, showing that he still looks like he's at least as good as AO as we remember him from the short period last season where he was playing, which means that you are confident in making a switch if you need to. But I think it's too early to destroy AO's future confidence, because we only have one extra keeper, basically. So I would give AO another couple of matches, even if we need to take losses because of it, before taking him out. Because it's last chance then. We're on our third keeper, basically. So I would give him a bit more time to settle back to it, but then swap the Burton. Because as much as everybody hopes Burton is good, we don't know he's good. We know he did well for like 6 matches. Then he had his own injury. And that's been a long time ago last season. So let's hope Burton plays an amazing game tomorrow, and everybody is still in high hopes that he can come in and swap out for AO if we need to.
I just know if he comes out and looks good tomorrow, and AO drops a clanger on the weekend, it's going to get loud. people be calling for him.
You've also got to trust the manager, haven't you, in a matter of sense that, the reason why AO is playing and Burton's, third choice is like, well, he is the third best goalkeeper then, isn't he? Just because AO's made a few mistakes, he doesn't necessarily suddenly become, a worse goalkeeper. So Parky knows who the pecking order, doesn't he? I suppose the only thing is, I think the only reason he would change him is if he's making mistakes and he completely loses his confidence and he has to take him out the firing line. That's the only way I think he changes it. I just think he makes too many mistakes for me. The one thing if I'm our manager, when we play you in a few weeks, I'm saying to every single one of our strikers, every shot on goal, follow him with the goalkeeper because he spills it.
Yeah. And in fairness, if that is an obvious weakness, what you need to be doing is telling your strikers to shoot from distance more than they are. Because the thing is, yes, he's a very good shot stopper, but if he's going to be parrying them back into the danger zone, then tell your strikers, shoot from a little bit further out and everybody follow in. Because if that ball gets spilled, I want someone on the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a world where I see Burton has a great cup match. AO has an absolute howler of a Saturday match, and then he's dropped after that one match. Again,
Well,
I
and
can
here's the
see
thing:
that it's a possibility, but
3-game week next weekend too, or next week. So it's a quick turnaround. We play Leicester
Saturday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah. So quick turnaround. It'll be
Okay. So that's an interesting one, right? Can you get away with this scenario? So Burton comes in and has a very good cup match tonight. Then Saturday, AO has an okay match. Maybe not great, maybe one error, whatever. And then you put Burton back in on Tuesday, basically using the cover that it's resting. Because we've seen how good Burton is as well, and then put AO back in Saturday.
I don't know if you get away with resting the goalkeeper.
I know you don't usually, but
yeah, I don't know. I think if you're gonna make here's the thing. I think if you're gonna make the change,
make it.
make the change and make it permanent.
That's kind of
so
why
I'm okay with giving.
I
I'm okay with giving AO time. I was just
matches.
raising the
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
But
That's why I'm of the opinion, like, give him a couple of matches and take the losses if you have to, but then he's out permanently. Yeah.
Right.
That's more my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And here's the one thing with AO though, he is an unbelievable shot stopper. So if he can clean up the other stuff, you know what I mean? He's great at that at least. Obviously, and he's still young. He's what, 23, 22, 23? Still young. So he's
should have learned by now.
Yeah. Well, but he's, you're going to get the best of You're going to get the best of him. You're going to get the best of him 3 years from now, 4 years from now.
Did the same in the Championship last season. I think, as the chat said, Stansfield's goal was exactly that. Spilled it straight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I agree.
And that's the thing. If it was a new problem, I could understand it. That's an old habit, shall we say, which hasn't been eradicated from his game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, I think he's been the chats. Michael said he's way too hesitant. I think he is way more hesitant this year than he was last year. I think he's definitely seems like he's way more unsure of himself than he was last season. I thought he looked really good at times last season.
Yeah, he loses confidence in himself, and I think putting Ward in ahead of him shook him.
Might have. But to be fair, I thought he looked like shit in the preseason too, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So I mean,
but even just bringing Ward in, knowing that, like, is he taking my spot? That could have been enough to destroy his season if he's that nervous.
Yeah, but
I know he shouldn't be. Yeah,
I can say he's been at Arsenal for It's like if you can't deal with that mental aspect of the game, well,
but he's always been the reserve at Arsenal, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's the mentality side of the thing. If a decent goalkeeper or decent player has been brought in your position, you simply cannot fall apart, because that will follow you for the rest of your career, especially as a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm. What's Burton's shortcoming? The only thing I could remember that I thought
he's a little wild.
He's a little
erratic.
I thought I don't think he's got near as big a leg on him as Okonkwo's got. That was the only thing that I noticed with him. Is his goal kicks don't travel as far. It's not the end of the world, but I do think he's more accurate though, which maybe is more important. I didn't think Burton was bad though last season.
No, obviously his leap and his reach is not as good as AO, and his general shot stopping is a little bit weaker. But the other things, he's extremely aggressive around his box. He comes flying out, almost as potentially that can be a problem in the opposite way, because he doesn't think about going. He's gone now. In a lot of cases, when I've seen him do it, it appears it's been the right call. But if it's not, he's putting himself in no man's land, kind of. But look, it's easy to see that as a positive when Arthur is the opposite way, you know. But he got away with it. Like I saw sometimes, I was like, oh God, but he got there and it actually worked out. So, yeah, I saw very positive signs, but then he got injured. So,
yeah. Honestly, I think, and I think we talked about it on the channel. I think we were wondering if when Okonkwo came back, would he automatically get that spot back from Burton, because Burton was playing so well, and then of course he gets injured, so it didn't matter. But it never came to that. But yeah, that was. I mean, I don't think it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to step right back in the starting lineup, as well as Burton was playing last season. So, but to be fair, our defense was pretty good, so he didn't have a ton to do either. So that helps.
Ultimately, with your goalkeeper, as long as he saves you more points than he costs you,
that's fair.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And he does stop goals. and he did in the last match too. He had an amazing save. So, look, swings and roundabouts. He should have time, and hopefully he can make do, because now our defense is more solid.
Yeah.
So, and as well, look, in fairness, keepers should not be ending up 1-on-1 the way he was in those scenarios. Like we got caught on a transition, and that's it. You leave a keeper 1-on-1, likely you're going to lose a goal. For everything else with it. So, okay. So on the bombshell, that let's see what Burton does in the cup, and is this going to cause headaches for Parky, or is he going to be an absolutely amazing keeper that's going to take the number one spot for the remainder of the season? Who knows? Right, guys, I think we'll finish it there. 2 hours, 22 minutes and counting. And we
short show. Nothing to it.
Yeah. Right, guys, do you want to say goodbye? And we are done. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.